at a church where several pastors and people were gathered, and I was up to do a presentation on why families need to become foster and adoptive families, and how churches and why churches need to have a sustainable ministry in their church. My foster son, named Diego Fuller, who's now a gospel rap artist, I said, Diego, I want you to come, and I want you to do what you do. And his title, or his tag, or whatever you call it, is the Go-Getter for Christ. And so I announced him. I had everybody to get ready. I brought him up, and I thought the music was going to sound, and I thought he was just going to start rapping and going for it. And he stands up, and he tells him to hold up on the music. And he said, let me tell you something. This is a fantastic mom and dad right here, talking about me and my wife, Mary. And let me tell you how wonderful they are. They still love us. We burned down their house. I'm sitting over there saying, oh my God, who would want to foster or adopt when he said, we burned down their house? And so I was sitting there, my heart began to pant, my hands began to sweat. How in the world am I going to get out of this? What can I say when he gets to singing? But let me digress back to the burning down of the house. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and Mark came and bangs on the door. And Mark says, Pop, my room is on fire. Well, I was trying to realize, or trying to figure out, am I dreaming, or is this really happening to me? I jump up and I run to the back, and yes, his room is blazing. Fire went up the wall and into the attic and was burning. And I'm trying to pull the curtains down to see if I can do something. Mark runs outside to get the water hose and bring it down the hall, and of course it doesn't reach. But I didn't know Mark was outside, and Mary yells, come, get out of there. The house is on fire all over. And my hair was singed, my eyebrows were singed, and I was thinking that Mark was still in the house, but everyone was out. We go outside and we stand across the street, watching a house where I raised my 6 biological kids. And while I was watching that, and then my 6 foster sons were standing there with us, I was thinking about 6 biological kids and all the memories, all the things, all the Christmases, all the pictures were going up in flames. As a foster dad and foster mom, we were watching our home on fire. 6 biological kids represented my past memories. 6 foster kids was representing their future. I stood on the sidewalk thinking about what we would do. You know what the first thing that came to my mind? Let's go to Walmart and buy some clothes. We get in the car, drive to Walmart. Walking through Walmart, they were slow dragging to do it. We got the clothes. We went to a hotel. Get up the next morning so that we can go to school. 6 boys sat on the couch and wasn't going to move. I said, what's the problem, guys? They said, we don't want to go to school. Well, I'm thinking, sure, you lost everything and you're in a fire, you're tired. That's reasonable. And I said, guys, you play football, you got a game Friday, you got to miss. And they said, we don't want to go to school. Finally, we got them to school, and everything went well. And now, let's go back to Diego Fuller standing up at 25 or 6 years old, ready to sing a rap song. And before he sang the song, he said this. He said, we burned the house down. But I realized that my mom and my pop loved me when we went to Walmart and got clothes and came back and went to a hotel. And then after we got to the hotel, we went home, and things started like normal. We went to school. He said, I've been put out of homes for far less things than burning down a house. Then when he said that, tears came to my eyes. It was hard for me to talk when my time came to speak, because he realized that he had a family. I told the boys, I said, listen, guys, when they would walk in the door, I said, you're at an age where it's down that you don't want to be adopted. But I want to tell you, you will always be part of the Blake family. You will always be a Blake. So Joseph went to college. He calls back and say, hey, can I change my name from Joseph Callahan to Joseph Calla Blake? I said, Joseph, you can do that. But I told them this. I said, you are engrafted. You're no longer a foster kid, but you're engrafted. Let me tell you something. Each one of us were adopted. Each one of us have been engrafted into the body of Christ. My boys understood that for the rest of their lives, they were going to be engrafted into our families. Matter of fact, it was Diego's sister who called, who texted me today. And in her text today, let me read what she said to me today. She texts a message, and she says, hey, Pop, this is Ambi. How are you? I'm in need of a favor. I lost my job. I am now starting a new one, but I need $200. You know that they're engrafted when they are at 28 years old and still calling for rent money for their house. Diego, Melvin, Joseph, all of my boys are engrafted into a family, and they will forever be. Listen, if you are a foster parent, yes, it is a temporary situation, and many of these kids go back home. Many may age out of care, but family is family, and you have to love them unconditionally. I call it grace-laced love. See, that means that when your house is burning and you're standing out on the corner and you're thinking about everything that you own is going up in flames, you have to remember grace-laced love. Well, how can you remember that? Well, you can remember it because we were born in sin, shaped in iniquity. But God so loved the world and so loved us that he sent his son, and he sent his son to die. And Jesus died on the cross because of grace-laced love. It was the grace. How can, in this space that we're in foster and adoption, it has to have grace. And the church is the only place that preaches it and teaches it. Mary said something that was, she doesn't talk very much. She's kind of quiet until I do something wrong. We was going to focus on the family. Mary said, oh, I don't want to talk. You do all the talking. And I was going to focus on the family. And they asked her, Mary, what did you learn the most as you fostered with 6 boys? And Mary said, I learned how to love like the Father. Everybody said at the table, including me, wow, I learned to love like the Father. I believe that the test of our Christian faith, as we quote James 1:27 many times, someone said it today, the last part, and keep yourself unspotted. Do we have genuine, pure, unspotted, unconditional love? If we do, then we're in line for this work with children from hard places. I believe this. I believe that if every church across this nation would take 1 child a year, there'll be more children waiting for families more families waiting for children than children waiting for families. That's my story, and I'm not going to change it.